Am I the asshole for telling my daughter's father that he can't throw her a bday party when she's grounded? My 15-year-old daughter did something that warranted a 4-day punishment. Her bday is tomorrow. And this is her second of punishment. I cancelled her birthday as part of punishment, and the other part is not allowing her to go out for 4 days. She still has electronics available. Earlier today, my ex contacted me and asked about the bday cancellation. I told him what happened, and he said that he'll throw her the bday party since I cancelled. I said that he can't throw her the party when she's grounded and isn't allowed to leave the house for days. He called me ridiculous, but I told him that he was encouraging bad behavior and acting like the cool parent instead of working with me on fixing these behavioral issues. He said that since he's also the parent, then I cannot stop him from throwing her a party and he'll do it tomorrow. We got into a big argument and my husband agrees that my ex is being an enabler. But my daughter's grandparent got involved as well and told me I can't stop her dad from celebrating her bday and said that I needed to let it go and suggested I put off the rest of punishment till after the bday. But I refused. I feel like he's undermining my parenting and deliberately going against my input. You are the asshole. What kind of punishment lets a child still have access to their electronics but doesn't let them celebrate their birthday? That's ridiculous. You are the asshole. If your daughter did something bad enough that it warrants canceling a birthday party and grounding her on her birthday, then it's bad enough that you and your ex need to discuss the appropriate punishment before giving it and generally get on the same page. You didn't do this. You acted unilaterally in deciding how to deal with her, and he is merely doing the exact same thing. In other words, you undermined his parenting, too. Am I the asshole for threatening my husband to stop paying for him if he helped his sister? I, 34F, have been married to my husband, 33M, for 6 years now. We have 2 kids, 4M and 1, 5F. I come from money and also make about 10 times what my husband does. When we first got together, I noticed that his family takes advantage of him financially. He is a very kind man and the perfect person to have as a partner and father. To get around the whole greedy family thing, I offered to pay everything when it comes to us: house, living expenses, medical expenses, vacations, clothing, etc. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if he wanted to be a sod, but he loves his job, and I love to see him happy. Early on, some of his family tried to get money from me, but when I brought up a contract and a notary, they backed off. I am now considered that rich dill who happens to be a cold bitch, and honestly I don't care. My husband's whole salary ends up going to his family, paying almost everything for his parents. Somehow one of his siblings is always in an emergency, or a cousin needs help with their business. Even though they are all firmly middle class with good jobs. Before anyone asks, when it is a true emergency, I always give money with no expectation of it being paid back. Now to the situation, we are visiting his family for Thanksgiving. We thought it better to go a few days earlier. They live in a mountain town. It is gorgeous this time of year. I rented us a cabin and paid for 5 first-class tickets. Mine, his, the kids and the nannies. We arrive at the airport, and surprise surprise, his sister just happens to be on the same flight. I call bullshit. It is obvious he told her when we would be going, and she decided to get a ticket for the same flight. We greet her, then I hand the kids to the nanny and send her ahead to the lounge, because I had a feeling about what was about to come. Then Sil has the audacity to ask me to upgrade her to first class so she can travel with her family. Kudos to my husband, he shut her down before I could. Then she goes and asks us to switch her ticket with our nannies. I told her point blank that I wouldn't be doing that my nanny is needed to help with the kids. I am useless on a plane because of nausea and the meds. My husband can't realistically be expected to take care of 2 kids on his own. She starts complaining and making a scene. I just turn around and start walking towards the lounge. My husband follows me about 10 minutes later. Apparently he tried to pay for her ticket upgrade, but it is a full flight. So he tells me that he will be switching with her. Here's where I might be the awe. I told him that he knows I can't help the nanny during the flight, and if he was going to leave the poor woman to her devices just because his sister can't live within her means, then this will be the last time I will be paying for his tickets ever again. He texted his sister to tell her that apparently he can't switch tickets with her, but he is pretty upset. So am I the asshole? Edit. So this blew up. Expected a couple hundred judgments at most, thank you everyone. And since most people seem to be hung up on it, when I said my husband can't be expected to take care of the kids on his own, I meant logistically. 2 rows of 2 seats with a wide gap between the seats and between the rows. Each kid, who are 4 and 1.5 btw, would need an adult to sit next to them. I am useless, can't even open my eyes because of the meds. I usually need someone to help me. We are both perfectly happy and capable of taking care of our kids on our own in normal circumstances. You're definitely not the asshole, and your husband is a major pushover when it comes to his entitled family. Not the asshole. For anyone crying financial abuse, for threatening to stop paying for his ticket, __no___. Husband makes money and he decides to give it all to his family. It certainly seems like his family will find any and all excuses to make your money tier. Not the asshole. Use some of that disposal income to get him some therapy. Not the asshole. You've got break the pattern of behavior somehow. Why on earth would you want to sit with your sill while your husband sits alone in coach? Utterly ridiculous. Am I the asshole for bathing both my kids together? Am I the asshole for bathing both my kids together? I have 2 kids who I will call J and S. J is 2 years old and S is 7 months old. Both my kids love water, they are such water babies. Anyway, onto the argument. We had my mill over for dinner. Husband wasn't home due to him being away for work. And my son knows that after dinner it's time for a shower, or bath. S has just started soiled, so as you can imagine it's quite messy. I asked my mill if she could watch both kids so I could run the bath, as it's easier for me to run a bath when both kids are messy. Well, I believe she, though I was going to bath both kids separately, because as I begin to undress them both she walks into the bathroom and start yelling at me how disgusting I am to bath both my kids together. They are brother and sister. Saying it's going to confuse them and they will properly turn out all messed up like my family. A lot of mental health issues on my side of the family. After about a solid few minutes of her yelling hurtful things at me about bathing my kids together, I yelled at her to get the hell out of my house. I'm getting a lot of hurtful messages from Mill family, so it's making me think, am I the asshole? Not the asshole. They're babies. They're babies. They're babies. You're fine. They're babies. Not the asshole. Mill is basically sexualizing an infant and toddler. That is beyond creepy. Not the asshole. Bathing toddlers together has happened for decades. The species is alive and well. Ages 12 and 14 would be a problem. 2 years and 7 Malio are not a problem. Not the asshole. It's actually creeping me out that she's sexualizing babies, toddlers. Especially siblings. That's the only massive, gross thing about the whole situation. Guess who's sexualizing the bath? Not the 2-year-old or the baby. It's the one calling you messed up. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she should give up on seafood because I'm allergic to it? I 27, I'm allergic to seafood. Unfortunately my 25, girlfriend adores it. Ever since we got together, apt 3 years, she's made an effort to eat it as less as possible, which I appreciate. However, I wish she'd completely stop, to be honest. The other day she went out with her friends at a restaurant. When she got back home I tried to kiss her, but she stopped me and told me she just ate seafood. I got a bit disappointed because I was looking forward to spending some time together with her, and I told her as much, and then I said that maybe it would be better if she'd just give up on seafood altogether. I know she likes it, but sometimes it can be an inconvenience to me, and I feel like she should be willing to give up on such a small thing for us. She got upset by my request and said that she loves me but that she's sorry cause she's not giving up on eating it, and that lowering the amount of times she does was already enough. Her family eats seafood often and she grew up eating a lot of it, so I kinda get why it would be hard for her to give up on it, but I think that if she cared enough she'd be willing to do it. So AITA. Come on. You're not even trying. Of course you are the asshole. It can be an inconvenience to me. Someone call a wambulance. You are the asshole. She made sure you were not harmed when she ate it. You were mad you couldn't touch her one night because she ate fish that night? That's nuts. You want her to stop eating it, even though she makes sure not to harm you with it? You should appreciate her more because of that. You are the asshole. A whole food group isn't a small thing. This is crazy controlling. Not about love. Love was her stopping you from kissing her. Love is realizing she gets to enjoy certain foods, sometimes even when it's inconvenient for you. If you cared enough you'd be willing to continue the working compromise of her eating it without you. You are the asshole when you play the whole, if she cared for me why wouldn't she? It begs the question, if you really cared about her, why would you try to deprive her of a food she loves?